We're going to start off with Sherry Williams, who is one of the co-founders of the Will County Democratic Black Caucus, was once a political opponent, now a political ally of Rachel Ventura. Thank you, Sherry, for coming out today. Come on up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not much of a public speaker, so this is going to be short. Short and sweet, I hope, anyway. I agreed to speak today because it seems that, too often you're voting for somebody because they're the lesser of two evils. Well, when you find somebody that you actually want to vote for, you got to do what you can to support them. And I believe that Rachel is that candidate. As John said, I met Rachel during the primary election when she and I were both one of 4 candidates for county board. Rachel went on to win that election, and then she asked me, I'm being the good Democrat that I am, I decided that I was going to support her, so she asked if I could, help her canvass. I agreed to do so. That's when I found out just how hard a worker she actually is. Rachel gave her all to that campaign with never-ending energy that some of us around her found very, very much exhausting. But it resulted in a victory in that election, making her my county board representative. And as a county board representative, she took that responsibility very, very seriously. She immediately challenged the status quo, and she's earned the reputation of troublemaker among the Republicans as well as the Democrats. But she was not deterred by this opposition. She's continuously called upon them to do what they need to do to make the county a better place to live. She called on them to take action to clean up the environment. She wrote a resolution to use the county cannabis tax revenue for those in the disproportionately affected communities who have been disproportionately affected by the war on drugs and systemic racism. She also supported the gas tax as a way to relieve the residents of some of the property tax burden. Of course, the county board didn't go along with her on that one, but she tried. She works tirelessly to move the county forward, doing so with passion and enthusiasm. Not seen today in politics anymore, unfortunately. And it also makes for a very interesting county board meeting since she's been there. So I love the county board meetings now when Rachel's there. So I believe that Rachel will bring this same passion, enthusiasm, and energy to the Illinois State Senate. And that's why I am supporting her in her candidacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Next, Shafiq Abu Baker, who's a community activist and peace activist, and has been a supporter of Ms. Ventura since he met her. So thank you. Come on up, Shafiq.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First of all, I would like to give a round of applause to all the volunteers who made this possible. What a beautiful arrangement. It's one of the best podiums I have ever stood, so thank you so much. So nice to see all of you this morning. I'm a friend of Rachel's, and I know her from a little while. Now, I'm not a politician, and I'm not very well versed with the political arena. However, I know what I want in my next state senator. I want someone who is genuine, who is honest and authentic. I want someone who will stand up for what is right. I want someone who believes in and stand up for what they believe in. I want someone who works for the common man. I want someone who will roll up their sleeve and work for other candidates. Someone who will think about the common worker, someone who stands for social justice, and someone who will work in the office one day and next day go on the street chanting for human rights, equality, and justice. And That is why I support my friend Rachel Ventura. I know it matters to me, it matters to all of you. So we will support Rachel Ventura for State Senate. Thank you so much.
Having a little Facebook Live trouble. Alicia Morales is the Joliet Junior College trustee and was just elected to township clerk for Joliet Township. Has been a longtime Ventura supporter, and I believe will someday be running for higher office herself. Please welcome Alicia Morales.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Good morning, everyone. As was mentioned, my name is Alicia, and I'm your public servant. So first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today in this hot day. I also want to thank you because I am also your representative, your public servant, as the first Latina elected to America's first community college, Joliet Junior College. So thank you for trusting me to keep college affordable and accessible to our students, because an educated community is a prosperous community and a sustainable one. So thank you. What can I say? When Rachel asked me to speak, of course I'm going to say yes to her, because for the same reasons that Shafiq mentioned, that Ms. Sherry Williams mentioned, all of those same reasons, and I'm not going to repeat what they said because that was part of my speech, but now I have to kind of change things up a little bit. When I first met Rachel, I saw her as, she was a woman that grew up in Joliet, but she'd left to get married and start her life. Things changed. She came back home, and she saw that nothing at home had changed. For someone like me that is a Joliet native, I've lived in Joliet my whole life since I was 1 year old. She saw what I see growing up, that the status quo, our city remains dilapidated, and she wanted to change that. She ran for city council. And you want to talk about cruel campaigning and cruel politics. I saw what people said and did to her in that campaign, which was totally unfair. When people see a strong woman, sometimes they become threatened by strong, intelligent women.
They should be.
No, they shouldn't. So, having said that, I saw how she was under attack, how they tried to steal her credibility, how she worked hard as a single mother, not of one baby, but twins. That's exhausting enough as it is, raising twins by yourself. Okay, so I didn't know much of her, but I decided to read on her and support her. And I've gotten to know her, and I don't regret it. The same Rachel I met then, she's been consistent. She's fair, she's loyal, she's intelligent, and she poses a threat, obviously. And that tells me that she means business, okay? She supports issues that other people don't support for some reason. For example, clean air and clean water. Why is that an issue for some people? But it is, because there's big money attached to it. Again, like Ms. Sherry Williams mentioned, she's the only one. It took a white woman, yes, I said it. It took a white woman to ask for revenue from the marijuana sales to be given to, or to support marginalized communities, primarily the African American community. We have a lot of African American leaders that claim to be leaders, but they did not back her on this. So why? What are you using your leadership for if you're not going to back what's right? If you're taking a position just for your self-title, then you need to step down. We need people like Rachel that are going to help people also that do not look like her. She will embrace and support everybody. We need strong, intelligent women that don't view each other as threats, but as partners. She will help build other women, not tear them down. She will support them. She will always support them at all times, not just when it's convenient, okay? Mm-hmm. Rachel is reasonable. I've learned this about her. If you get to know her, she's a reasonable woman. She's a hard worker. She's a good listener. She also understands how policy works, and she understands how complicated and dynamic are the political processes, but she knows how to navigate her way through it. Rachel is one of us. She's one of the working class people. She will stand next to us. She walks next to us shoulder to shoulder in our struggles, in our everyday struggles, and she represents the working class. She is loyal to the people. She is loyal to us. We have a saying in our church that if you cannot hold the door for someone, you have no business holding a microphone.
Amen.
Well, let me tell you, Rachel will not only hold the door for you, she will open the door for you. So,
Yeah, she does.
with that, I would like to give the microphone. I support Rachel Ventura, and I'd like to pass the microphone to her daughter, Lily.
Hi, my name is Lily, and I'm Rachel's daughter. I'm going into 8th grade this year, and the coronavirus was really hard. And my mom wasn't there all the time because she was working hard for John's campaign, and she's been trying to make the world a better place for my sister and I, so our generation doesn't have some of the same problems that this generation does have. And I respect her for that, and I'm proud to be her daughter because it's hard being a single mom, and the divorce really took it out of us. And I'm so happy that she found her way back here because I have a loving family, and I've got friends. And there's so much support. And then my mom got into politics, and I was going into 6th grade when she started her Congress race. And I wanted her to win, but sometimes I didn't want her to win because it would have meant moving away from my grandparents and my friends. But now I see that if you're afraid to change, then how are you going to get any further in life? So my mom has been trying to change the world so we can move on from some of the things that have been plaguing this world and this community. And I support her. And I know I didn't help as much as I probably should for the Congress race. And I was kind of hesitant for speaking up here. And I had this whole speech prepared, and then I'm just not even looking at it. And I'm kind of glad that I went off because I was just going to focus on how she's a hardworking mother and she's been trying her best. But that's not all she is. She's a great friend, and she's been there for me when I was having a hard time. I moved, so there are different education systems for every state. And when I moved, I wasn't that adept, and I couldn't catch up as easier. So she really helped me find my way and help me make friends, even though I really didn't want to make new friends. And I'm proud to be her daughter. So there you go, Mom.
Put her up for Congress.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Sherry, Shafiq. Those are very kind words. Thank you to everyone who came out, to my friends and family, to my supporters who have helped me all along the way. Your support is important and extremely invaluable. I am Rachel Ventura, and I'm running for Illinois State Senate seat in the 43rd District. Currently, John Connor serves in this seat, but he will be running for judge and giving the voters a chance to elect a new leader. This is a transformative time in our government, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to be your next state senator. This last year, Illinois made historic changes in closing the immigration detention centers, requiring body cameras for law enforcement, expanding voter rights, passing a humane pet ordinance, requiring environmental cleanup for clean water and coal ash, not to mention the local infrastructure investments, and of course, balancing a budget. A huge thank you to Senator John Connor, Representative Dagmara Avalar, and Representative Larry Walsh Jr. for their hard work. But there is still much work that needs to be done. We still need to pass a progressive income tax. We need to fully fund local infrastructure projects, increase funding in schools, and strengthen the middle class. I look forward to working with these House representatives moving forward to continue to pass legislation that improves the lives right here in the 43rd District. I'm a native to Joliet, as you heard, and later attended college at Benedictine University, earning my degree in mathematics. I loved growing up in this area because of its rich culture and growing diversity. I was raised by two amazing parents who believe in investing in the community and the political process. Even though I grew up with a family and a community that I loved, my parents, a teacher and a bridge tender, raised 4 children on a modest income. I was challenged by my family and my teachers to excel in school, and that, coupled with my thirst for knowledge, has motivated me to show up prepared and well-informed for the task at hand. Growing up on leftovers and hand-me-downs has taught me to value taking care of the things that I cherish, while being equally financially responsible. It also created a drive to better my life and ultimately that of my own family. After college, I became an actuarial analyst. I love the challenge that math and analyzing numbers brings in a way only a true math nerd could appreciate. But that skill set is something that is a diamond in the rough when it's among legislators. The ability to analyze and create processes is a strong talent and makes me uniquely equipped to effectively perform the job of a legislator. My ability to see the bigger picture while breaking it down into quantitative bits means I also understand how each law impacts people across the board and how it impacts our economy, our environment, and our quality of life. It is easy to have blinders on and be hyper-focused on an issue, but my math training gives me a unique ability to see cause and effect, both from a macro level and a micro one. I've learned to ask the right questions to make sure we are maximizing the efficiency of our government and ensure it is representing everyone, not just special interests. I left the financial world to earn a degree in biology and work for the Georgia State Parks, restoring our longleaf pine forest before my children were born. Later, I worked as a substitute teacher, investing in the next generation's education, but not just their education. I also became an environmental activist fighting against companies who want to put profits as their sole goal without consideration of people or planet, companies like Monsanto. Now, as a single mom working 2 jobs, I experience daily the struggles of not getting paid a living wage, of living in an area with high pollution, and of challenging a government that doesn't always listen to the needs of its people. I understand the struggles of my neighbors because I too am living it every day. While I love my jobs, I don't love that there never seems to be enough money to go around for the little guy, while companies, big companies, rake in record profits, destroy our planet, exploit our brothers and sisters. As a county board member, I pride myself to be there to listen to my constituents and truly understand the root of the issues so that we can find lasting solutions. I have been a strong advocate for a local food economy, protecting our farmland, providing more recovery homes, housing the homeless, creating attainable and affordable housing, closing the wealth gap, and treating people with dignity. In this divided place in America's history, I don't vote with the left or the right. Instead, I pride myself on being an independent voice of the people that I was elected to represent. Sherry mentioned earlier that I tried to push the Democrats to have a relief for property owners on the gas tax. The county board would not go for it. So I voted against tax increases like the gas tax and every tip that has put a greater financial burden on the property owners. I continue to speak out against systematic racism and raise concerns of our economy. We must create and attract living wage jobs for everyone so that we can strengthen the economy and provide for a stable state budget that supports the needs of the people. This last year, health became center focused due to the pandemic. And as the chair of public health and safety, I put my energy into making sure that Will County residents had access to COVID testing and eventually the vaccine, both through private and public administrators. Having a government that works for everyone means paying attention to resource distribution and breaking down those barriers that cause inequality. This spring, with the help of community-based organizations, I advocated for Will County's Health Department to hire a director of vaccinations and the first time ever equity manager. Healthcare is a human right, and we all must have a government that provides cost-effective services and equal accessibility. I have and continue to be committed to learning about the issues from all angles, from the business owner to the employee, the private citizen, the law, and from stewards of the environment. I make decisions based on a thorough understanding of the issues. I am committed to ensuring that my decision is made free from outside influence. And I'm committed to representing with an eye on the past and an eye on the future. This is how I have represented my district at the county, and this is how I will represent you in the state senate. I believe our government should work for everyone, and not just those who can buy access to lawmakers. That belief holds true for every level of government. And to make that happen, I've worked hard with hand in hand with the community. I've reached across the aisle, and sometimes I even had to shake things up on my side of the aisle to make changes and improvements that serve the people and strengthen our trust in what government can do. While we have been making strides in Illinois as of late, we are going to need to step it up. During the pandemic, we saw families affected in all kinds of ways, from loss of jobs to loss of loved ones. We aren't out of the woods yet with the financial crisis or the looming housing crisis. Even before COVID, we saw growing concerns with these issues. But nothing is more pressing than the looming climate crisis. While the Paris Agreement plans were to limit global temperature increases, we are way off track. Current projections for the world are expected to reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius ceiling within 12 years or less, and hit 3 degrees warming by the end of the century. I have the experience to deal with this looming crisis, and from the floor of the General Assembly, I will take a leadership role in advancing some of these job-creating initiatives that we have piloted here in Will County. At the county, we've made remarkable steps at creating a greener, more sustainable county by growing our solar farms and passing the Greenest Region Compact, which provides the blueprint for several more sustainable projects, like the most recent renewable gas plant. This RNG plant will capture the methane gas that's put off from our landfill and convert it to natural gas for heating homes or natural gas transportation. While we are doing our part at the county with new technology, at the state level, we must balance that sustainability with workers' rights, including availability of jobs, pay, salary, and the longevity for jobs across our state. Now is the time to send a different type of leader to Springfield, a mathematician and environmental protector. I promise you I will represent you with the right intentions and by making decisions based on the people and planet's needs. I will represent you with honesty and a strong moral character. I am a hard worker with perseverance, and I take every job very seriously. And I pride myself in knowing the issues inside and out, showing up prepared with the difficult questions to get to the most ideal solution. I will bring my strong work ethic and an open-minded ideas. But more importantly, I will listen to understand and push solutions for the problems we face every day at the kitchen table. A leader doesn't give up, and I promise you I won't give up. In my last race, we knocked on over 20,000 doors, speaking to voters at their doorstep. While I raised only $20,000 through small dollar donations, I received 42% of the vote, coming in second in the whole nation for those who challenged congressional incumbents in the primary. Wow. The hard work of my staff, myself, and many of my supporters here is so crucial to transforming our government to one truly for the people. This is a new political era in Illinois. It's a new day, and we can have a model government. One that not only represents special interests, but every resident. One that makes decisions for the people and the planet. a government that is trusted. A leader is transformative. It has been said before that when we stop learning, we stop growing. And when we stop growing, we start dying. Change is inevitable for life. We are at a crucial time where people are waking up to different priorities, to daily change, and to uncertainty. In the last year, many of us looked for things to ground us as we felt the pressure to push towards the unknown. The thing about grounding is we can either stand firm in the way things were or forge forward towards a new path. Change is not easy for most. We have already transitioned so much to a new way of life that even as we return to normal, we are not really going back to the old. It isn't the same that we need, but instead to improve and transform to a better future. This will happen when voters make their voices and needs known, and by electing the people who will represent them. Every voter is a part of this transformation. And I have said it before, and I will say it again. We can create a system that unites us all by investing in people and communities. Our system should be built on the foundation of decency and dignity, regardless of what skin color you have, what religious beliefs you carry, what partner you choose, what age group you are in, what gender you identify with, and what zip code you were born into. I am asking each and every one of you to join me in strengthening Illinois and our democracy so we can have a government that works for everyone. I'm Rachel Ventura, and I'm running to be your next state senator.